Hey reader friends, it's Mrs. Palin the librarian with today's book review. So I got my hands on Alan Gratz's latest historical fiction novel called Ground Zero. Now, Alan Gratz, many of you may be quite familiar with his works. He has written some unbelievable historical fiction stories based on World War II and the Syrian refugee crisis. They are written for kids, but I'm going to put in a little caveat here. They're written for, I would say, middle grade kids, which tend to be 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. These are solid, terrific middle school reads. I grapple with whether or not they are okay for a K-5 audience, 3, 4, 5 audience who would maybe pick this up. This one was troubling. Of course, they all are, but I don't know if this one hits home more or that it was a little bit more graphic in nature. Let me tell you about it. There are two main characters in the story. The first one is Brandon. Brandon is 9 years old. He lives in New York. His dad works at the restaurant on top of one of the 2 towers at the World Trade Center. This is a restaurant up on the very top. And Brandon goes to work with him on 9/11. And the other main character, you have to flash forward 20 years to Afghanistan. And she lives in Afghanistan with her family. Okay, so one is taking place 20 years ago, and the other story is taking place kind of now-ish, okay? Brandon leaves the restaurant and goes downstairs to the mall where he's gonna buy something. And in that time period, the first plane hits the first tower, and he can't get back up for his dad. So it's 9/11 with Brandon's story one day, and then they go back and forth to Rasmina's story. Rasmina, yeah, her story. And there's a soldier in her camp, an American soldier, and he's hurt. And the Americans, ever since 9/11, have been trying to rid Afghanistan of the Taliban, one of the terrorist groups that was responsible for 9/11 20 years ago. But Rasmina has no idea what 9/11 and the Twin Towers were. She's 11 or something, has never heard of them before. She just knows that people have been in her country fighting wars her whole life, her mother's whole life, her grandmother's whole life. But this American soldier needs her help. And so she brings them into her home. But her brother, her twin brother, has been convinced that the Taliban is the right choice, the right way to get rid of all of these people in their country. And he's gonna go tell the Taliban that they're housing an American soldier. So that story is gripping, nail-biting, and of course, Brendan's 9/11 day escape the tower story is nail-biting as well. My problem is it was an amazing book, absolutely amazing, back and forth, page turning, gripping. My problem is that I think it's a little too graphic for a K-5 audience. The visuals of 9/11, the bodies falling out of the building, pieces everywhere. I just think for a K-5 audience, a different story for 9/11 would be a safer, more appropriate one. And I do have some of those in my library, so don't be hating me. Don't be hating on me, because I think I'm gonna hold off on getting this one from my libraries. But again, if you're in middle school, high school, if you're an adult, this is an amazing historical fiction by Alan Gratz called Ground Zero. Whatever you're reading, friends, keep reading. See you soon.